coming out of non-public. And can you see me in there? Okay, so Betsy, can you hang in with us for a little?
Yes.
For a little bit? Okay.
Yes.
The next thing on our agenda is to discuss the ordinance.
Oh.
And
Can I just ask a housekeeping question?
sure.
Did we have to appoint any alternates, A, and did we have any minutes to approve from previous meetings?
So with regard to the alternates, Sue Roman is stepping down into an alternate position, but Michelle is not here.
Okay.
I know that Michelle is interested in becoming a full member, and so, we could discuss that now and vote her in or not. So why don't we, what are your thoughts on having Michelle be a full member?
I move that we accept her.
I'll move that we do.
Okay, I
second
think
that.
you just seconded Sally's motion that we
Oh,
accept
okay.
her as a full member. So now we can discuss this since it's on the floor,
Is
so.
this what we typically do when somebody wants to become a member? We do? Okay.
Yeah,
We do?
we discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we did. Yes.
Well, I moved from alternate to full member just today. I want you to know.
It
Well,
does
we
take
didn't discuss
time.
you.
But I've been approved by the select board.
Oh,
No, we
good.
did.
Isn't
We
it
did.
just a
I thought the
wonderful
last time we were
feeling?
in this room, we did.
What
Yes.
about me? Did you discuss me when I became a member?
I don't remember discussing
We
other people,
discussed
but
allowing her to join us.
Well, yeah,
We
how
have to.
could we not?
I just,
Yeah.
and I don't know what the process is, so that's why I'm
So-
asking.
So,
Okay.
so there's a motion on the table to approve Michelle. If there's a problem with that motion, if anyone wants to dispute it, now's the time to speak.
I
Hearing
move that
none.
we vote.
Yes, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye, okay, great, so unanimous
Unanimous.
approval for Michelle to become a member.
And we're sure she wants to be a member.
That's what the last
did.
thing she said to me, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
and with regard to minutes, Linda, I think, submitted a draft of the minutes to Dana.
Right, and I forgot to write, please make a draft, and of course he put them up for us.
Yeah, they did appear in the grapevine.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did. So,
grapevine, is there a grapevine?
Shouldn't they be reviewed by us
They're supposed to be,
before
yes.
they're posted?
yes,
Okay.
Yeah,
the
my
law,
mistake.
the law says that a draft is supposed to be to the town administrator within 4 or 5
Something like
5
that.
business days.
5 business days,
Oh,
and we
really?
don't meet during that period of time.
Mhm.
So the best that we could ever do is provide a draft. But until those minutes have been approved, he should
Should
not
be.
have.
He just went ahead because I forgot to say, please put draft
Oh,
on it.
okay. So did
So they
you?
post them in the grapevine before while they're still
I
a
don't
draft?
know.
No.
They
No,
were
no.
posted on the
Oh, okay.
website.
Or on
The
the
town
website?
website.
They're not. Yes, they're not. Right.
So he put him up being, a good guy because I asked him to.
Yeah. So did you guys happen to see them in the grapevine?
No,
Did you read the grapevine?
I read
I
Betsy's
picked-
section.
Of
I
course,
picked out
always
the parts
read
I
Betsy.
love.
Yes.
Oh. The frequently reading the minutes for the Conservation Commission are, I don't know, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I don't think that we can approve those minutes
Yep, no.
for right now.
Okay.
So note to ourselves, our next meeting will be to approve the minutes for June and
May, right?
July.
Oh, that's right.
We're in July now, so I think it was June.
I think I did the minutes for the
You did
work
That
session.
interim, yeah.
Oh, the work session.
And I never sent them to, I sent them to everybody here.
You did.
Yes.
but do they have to be approved also?
Yes,
Oh, they
so
do?
those two, we have to have those approved. So what I would do is, Sally, if you can send those around again,
Okay. Just say, sign off on this. I think you've already read it, but here it is.
yeah. And Linda, if you can resend yours as
I
well,
will.
that would be wonderful, thank you.
Mhm.
So in terms of the ordinance, we are under some degree of time pressure because we have a public hearing for the planning board coming up in September, which is all of like a month and a half away. So that public hearing, the planning board is going to expect that we will attend the planning board public hearing, so the third Thursday of September, I think that's when they meet.
Yes.
Please put that down in your calendars,
Okay.
and we will be expected to be very well versed in the ordinance. I'm hoping that Sue Roman can be there as well that night. She told me that she intends to be there. She is having trouble making our meetings on Wednesdays now because she
It's the
has,
16th.
okay,
It's also
September
Yom
16th.
Kippur.
it's what?
Yom Kippur.
Is that day, that night?
That's what I've got on my calendar.
So all of us who are Jewish,
Thursday, September 16th is the third Thursday.
that's right.
Okay.
Sure.
Now, we've also been asked by the select board to make a presentation to the board,
All right.
specifically on the important aspects of the ordinance and the pros and the cons, if there are any cons. I can't think of a con, but
Oh, we better think of some.
yeah.
They will.
And so I propose, this is a proposal from me, that we make a presentation to the select board before the public hearing to the planning board, for the purpose of gearing up for the public hearing to the planning board and sharpening our knowledge of the ordinance earlier rather than later. Does that make sense?
Yes, also we want it to be on the ballot that the select board supports this amendment.
Oh, yeah, you mean a town meeting?
Yeah.
The town,
Yes, absolutely.
So
Yes.
is the meeting on 9/16 is the public hearing?
The public hearing, right,
For the planning board.
for the planning board, right. So we'll have our meeting the week before that. At that meeting in September, I would propose, just thinking a little bit ahead, that we have a dry run through
Yes.
of our preparation for the planning board meeting. And the select board meeting, they meet the first and the third Mondays of each month. Now, typically, there is the first meeting in September oftentimes,
That's Labor Day.
yes, oftentimes falls on Labor Day. And that is that the 6th?
Yes.
Yes.
So, the select board probably will move its meeting to the 7th.
Rosh Hashanah.
Oh, no. Are these important
I'm-
dates for you?
No.
Okay. Good to know, though, about world religions. I think that's
They
excellent.
are on all the calendars. Trying to get it.
So my bet is that that September 7th would be the date that we could get on the select board agenda. And Dave
Still working.
Hemingway,
Still working.
hey Betsy, could you mute yourself for a second? Do you know how to do that?
Yes, mute up.
Yeah, mute. As long as you're going to talk to somebody over there, just mute yourself real quick.
Yeah.
We could get on the agenda for the 7th. Dave Hemingway was saying that they would expect a 10 to 15 minute presentation. So, I would volunteer to do that presentation with somebody else.
I thought Sue Roman said she would do that.
I don't know. She might have, but I think that she's, I wouldn't want to ask her.
Oh, I would.
Is there any and I don't anybody take offense at this, but Sue Roth did such an amazing job of presenting it, just getting the points down. Is there any chance of
Oh, yeah,
recruiting
that's a
her
good
to,
idea. Yeah, maybe
Well,
Sue
to
Roman.
do it?
I
mean,
would
she
do
just-
it with her, but it's important that somebody from
Oh, I agree with
us.
that,
I will
but
be
I think
there.
she'd be a good partner.
She'd be fine if everybody's
I
okay
mean,
with that.
If you want a body, I'll gladly sit there, but I don't wanna speak.
I don't
And-
feel
and
anywhere near as versed on it as most everyone else.
Me too.
Sue Roth was just so, there wasn't a question that came
I
up that she
can
couldn't just
help out,
answer.
obviously, I can help out
Okay,
with this,
good.
but I think Sue Roth would be a terrific
She was
Great
just,
person to do it. And
Okay.
She did a fine job with the planning
Planning
board,
board.
and she could do a great job with the select board as well.
Well,
yeah.
okay, should I not do it then?
No, I think you'd
No,
be so
no, no,
perfect
no,
as a
if you're looking for a partner.
Okay, I'm looking for a partner.
I
I,
recommend Sue Roman just because of her legal background. I mean,
Right.
she really nailed a bunch of questions that weren't covered in the general presentation, that she had specific answers for. I felt that was
At
valuable.
the planning board,
Yes.
And she did.
if she'll do it.
so,
You know, that's the question, if she's available to do it.
yes, so you can ask her,
I'd be happy to ask
and
her and see what she says.
I feel strongly that the presentation to the select board needs to be made in common people language.
Yes.
I know, and Sue gets wrapped up in legalese
She does.
sometimes.
So I think that Sue, it would be wonderful if she could be there in the same way that she was there at the planning board when Sue Roth made her presentation.
I
Go
would
ahead.
be happy to talk to Sue Roth also about taking the lead on a presentation.
I would ask her to co-present to me. I don't feel comfortable having her take the lead, frankly. I think she's wonderful, wonderfully adept, etc.
Uh-huh.
But I think the select board asked the Conservation Commission to make a presentation. And so I think it's important that somebody from the Conservation Commission
Oh, yeah, I'm not.
take the lead.
Okay.
And so-
I don't feel as strongly about it as you do because the ordinance is in the planning board's lap at this
It
point.
is.
At this point, it's their baby.
It is.
So having Sue Roth do the presentation, I mean, she could do an excellent job, but you could, or Sue Roman could too.
Well, I mean, I will try hard to do a good job. I mean, I feel like I have learned a lot about it. And I would work with Sue Roth to cover all the bases so that I would do some, she would do some, Sue Roman would be there, and you would be there as backup to answer questions.
Uh-huh.
I think that the presentation to the select board, and I haven't really thought about exactly how it would run, but I think that it would be most effective if there was a little bit of a PowerPoint presentation so that important points could be there in front of everybody.
Yep.
Just a second.
Uh-huh.
And frequently asked questions could be part of this. But I think in line with the whole idea that we've been talking about of having subcommittees of the Conservation Commission work on various aspects of selling the, or educating on the ordinance, that if, say, you and Sue Roth and I put together a presentation, I could do the PowerPoint stuff really easily and get feedback from you at our next meeting in August.
But she already, doesn't she already have one?
It's
A PowerPoint?
what she did was beautiful. I
I
can use
agree.
that right out of the box.
I think
Yeah.
so
You don't
too.
have to create
Yeah.
anything new.
Yeah. I would go, you know, the less time and effort we have to spend on creating something new is all to the good. So if Sue Roth's available and her presentation is available, let's do that.
Okay, let me take a look at it.
Uh-huh.
I had
Do we
made
have-
notes to myself that there were things there that I would have clarified or, you know, whatever. But yeah, uh-oh, we lost her.
Do we
Yeah,
have that presentation?
she sent it to us.
Oh, she did, yeah.
I don't remember seeing it,
I
but
can- I can have her
I
do it
could have
again.
lost it.
I was just going to suggest, and you mentioned it, Chris, that in addition to the PowerPoint presentation for the planning board, that we make available the FAQs.
Yeah,
And they'll have that in their hot little hands. They can read those in addition to listening to us.
okay.
Are we gonna
And
talk about them
while I'm on the subject of that, should we post those on the town website?
Not yet. Eventually though, yeah.
Why not now?
Well, because I don't think that we have all the questions yet. That I
Well,
think we're gonna
I
get.
haven't heard anything from
I know.
anybody, so,
I know.
I have my comments I brought tonight, I didn't know,
okay.
I didn't know we were supposed to send them ahead, I'm sorry. Okay.
Maybe send them to me. I don't know if we're gonna discuss that tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, she is
I can
the
do that.
FAQ person.
Okay.
But I want to hear what your comments are anyway. So, does the idea of Isabel and I, are you going to be around in August? No, you're not.
I'm not gonna be able to make the WCC meeting.
Okay, are you going to be around
Yeah,
the
I'm
first week
here.
of August?
I'm sorry?
First week of August?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you and Sue Roth, if she's going to be around, and I can get together and have a work session that doesn't have to be noticed because it's not a quorum. And we can go to work on that presentation.
So do you want me to call Sue Roth?
No, I'll call her.
Okay.
So, yeah, I owe her a call anyway. So we'll do that the first week, and then when I get to the meeting, when I get to our meeting in August, I can actually show you all whether, I mean, it's probably going to be Sue Roth's presentation.
I'm
Maybe
sorry, it's what?
it will probably be Sue's presentation with some modifications, and so when we do go to the select board, hopefully we'll be able to sit in 4 chairs right there. I guess they are keeping an area free and clear of humanity around them, and so we can sit back there, and or maybe we can sit in a row. Anyway, we'll be together and talk.
Okay, I've lost the thread. Am I calling Sue Roman about something?
You're calling Sue Roman
About what?
about whether she wants to be, whether, first of all, can she be at the planning board
The
meeting?
planning.
That's the planning board hearing, which is really important. That planning board hearing is really important.
Because that's really the public.
That is the public.
Right,
This is,
Whoa, what's that?
and the select board was
Her ring.
supposed to be the 7th.
welcome back.
Hello,
Hello, welcome back.
welcome back. Yes, I got disconnected. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm back
Okay.
again.
Good. Okay, so where were we in our discussion?
So,
You clarified that I'm to call Sue Roman to see if she's available to be at the public hearing for the planning board.
Yeah? And does she want to also can she be with us when we present to the select board, hopefully on September 7th?
Mhm.
So, the select board, I feel like we're putting a lot of emphasis on the select board meeting, but what do they have to do with it? We want them to approve it.
Yes.
So that we can say that they approved it, okay.
Yes.
And that's
Because
pretty important.
the other meeting is the one that we should be like, that's the public,
That's
right?
the public.
Right.
That is, we need all of us there. We need to be as sharp as possible. But I'm making a big deal out of the select board meeting because they asked us to present.
Yeah.
And so they're interested in what we have to say, and I think that Dave was trying to be helpful in
Yes.
helping us get the message out about the ordinance, because their audience is bigger than our audience and probably bigger than the planning board
Do we have a read on their
audience.
vote?
And when would they vote? I mean, if the warrant
gonna
isn't
vote-
until March, then
Right.
they will be voting in February.
They will, as soon as, it's really right before town meeting is when they're gonna vote on it.
So it's a last minute thing. We
It
have-
kinda is, right before, or actually, right before the town report is published. So it's actually the beginning in February after the first budget meeting. The first budget meeting happens in February, and then the select board responds to the concerns of the public, alters the budget in a way that they can, and then everything is solidified after that, so.
Would doing this in January make more sense?
Doing what?
Doing a presentation for the select board?
Well, I think that,
What is Betsy doing, for God's sakes?
I don't know.
Probably lunchtime.
So are you at the dinner table, Betsy? What's going on?
I'm sitting outside, but I just got served a margarita.
Oh, for God's sake. Nice to know you're a serious member of this commission.
Very serious.
Oh, my goodness. I know, very serious. So, I think that's a good point. If we present to them in the fall and they have, I don't know. I don't know how to
Yeah.
think about it.
Don't you think that they're curious, though, to see where we're at?
I think they are, and that's why Dave asked.
Yeah.
I think they're curious about it. So,
I think that's great. The only reason I'm asking is if we do it in September, that's October, November, December,
Right.
4 months for them to forget all about it and the reasons why they should vote for it.
Right.
And if we did it in January, it's a little closer to when they actually have to make a decision.
Okay.
There's some
Maybe they
merit
should
to
just go
that.
to the
We
public.
could use Isabel's questions and answers. You know, we have one person asking the question, and then then Isabel or you or someone could answer it.
well, they're going to have,
Like a little play would
Well,
be good.
oh, that's such a great idea to have a play. Somebody here was suggesting that, in fact, we give the select board the FAQ sheet in their hand so that they have that and they can study that.
Yeah.
So, but Isabel was just saying that maybe we should,
Do a refresher course.
maybe we should, well, first of all, she was saying maybe we should make our presentation to the select board in January rather than in the fall. That, you know, they'd be more likely to remember what we said, and maybe that, but, so maybe what I should do is ask the board when they would,
Normally work.
Good
I mean,
idea.
They would like us to present it.
happens. I mean, this happens, right? There's ordinances that come up and they have public hearings.
Ah.
okay, I'll do that, I'll
Yeah.
ask them. Okay,
So we're not necessarily gonna present to the select board on the 7th?
Well, we might if Dave Hemingway, who's the chair, says, oh
Right.
no, we have to do it in September.
right.
So it's a,
Well,
So-
maybe we attend that meeting and we talk to them, but we don't do a full blown, I don't know. It does seem like we got kinda hung up on the public hearing and we need the precursor to that to do that. And-
But we can do a run through here too.
Yes.
We can do that. I'll ask Dave Hemingway tonight when I get home. I'll send him an email and see what he says about it. The other thing that I wanted to make sure that we do tonight is set up our committees. I think that there should be a presentation committee, we've already got that, an elementary school committee, if there's gonna be a presentation at the elementary school, there should be a couple of people willing to go down to the elementary school and talk to kids and work up a little curriculum. I'd be happy to help with the curriculum part. I'd be happy to participate in that committee, but I don't wanna do it by myself.
Is Betsy interested in that?
Hey Betsy, do you wanna go down to the elementary school and then make a little presentation on wetlands to some kids and work up a curriculum that the
I can do
kids?
that. I can do that with your help. Yes.
I can do that with your help, so, okay. And then there should be a pamphlet committee. And so we need good writers.
I'm happy with that.
Okay, MJ
I'll-
and Sally.
I'd be happy with that.
Oh, good. So, that's wonderful. So,
But, was there a but to that?
so
I think
Betsy,
she's wants you for something else.
so Betsy, can you hear me amidst the clatter over there?
I hear you.
So MJ and Isabel and Sally are gonna be the pamphlet committee.
Okay.
So, so I should actually give this pamphlet to a member of that committee so that you can have an amazing template for what we might accomplish.
Michelle may have some ideas too.
And what?
Michelle.
Oh yeah, Michelle will have
Oh,
ideas.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but suddenly we've got a quorum going, so we want to be careful about that.
Right.
The FAQ committee. I think the
There's an
FAQ,
committee?
well, you've been the FAQ committee.
What does FAQ stand for?
Frequently asked questions.
Oh, okay. Oh, FAQ. Okay.
FAQ.
Maybe that could be a part of the pamphlet.
Yeah.
Those are really
Maybe.
valuable. We can use those in the pamphlet. We can use them.
Can't hear her. Yeah, it doesn't-
She said we could use them in the pamphlet.
Yeah.
Yeah, size 0.00.01 font. Right now, the FAQs, Isabel didn't get any comments back from anybody on the FAQ sheet, except Sue Roth made comments.
Yep,
And you responded to Sue Roth's comments by
yep.
putting a little header on there, which I thought was really good.
No, I included much of her comments in edited drafts.
Okay,
So, and everybody should have gotten a copy of the edited version.
yes, she had
Is that
things.
the one that's the one that you asked me if I got, and I said.
Betsy, you've got to mute.
Yeah.
Please mute.
Hang on.
I don't know how to mute, so I'm going to get up and walk away and go further away.
It's
I don't
really
know how to
distracting.
mute it. I'm on a telephone. I'm not on Zoom. So I'm just going to walk away.
Oh yeah, right, she
Walking
can't
down the
mute.
hill, and I'm going to go sit on a rock.
My
and wait for-
telephone can mute.
Pretty chatty around here, you're right.
It's
All
very,
family here.
yes,
And you're all having a good time.
I know. And
With margaritas.
we're really glad
Oh,
that you're
enjoy it.
with us. It was
I'm
just,
with you too.
I just had to,
Okay,
it was
yeah, you're
really,
right. I just didn't know how to mute it, because now I'm sitting down on a rock,
that's good.
far away from the wall.
That's
Okay?
good, that's
Nice
good.
and quiet.
Thank you so much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
So the FAQ, so MJ though has some comments. Is this something that, do you want to discuss your comments here? I think we should.
Or just shoot them to me and I can incorporate them. It's up to you.
But I think that
Some of them are more
talking
questions.
about these FAQs,
Okay.
it was really good last time because we all learned so much doing it. So, do you mind
No.
telling us what your
And
comments are?
I got some comments from John Q. Public McGowan too, because I
Oh.
wanted a person who didn't know
Can you
anything
hear
about it.
MJ?
Was that Bob?
Yes.
Betsy, can you hear MJ?
No, I can't.
So, I'm trying to have a cold, so I'm trying to, on the first question, I just think it should say, you don't have to remove your gazebo or lawn since they already exist, that's all.
Oh, okay.
The second one about the sleeping porch, I didn't I didn't fully understand, in the end of the day, can I sleep on my porch or not? I understand I can't convert it into a living space, but can I sleep on it all summer? I didn't understand.
I
That's
mean,
Betsy's question.
That's Beth's.
I know, and I sleep on my porch too sometimes.
Yeah, but
I mean,
don't-
I'm not in the district, but.
Exactly, that's the kicker.
Right, but what if you are on the district? What if you're in the boathouse at
Walker
on
Pond.
Walker Pond? That's
Yeah.
If
gotta
it
be in
already
just about-
exists, you're.
I know, but what if you buy it and it's a boathouse and you decide you're gonna throw some cots in there and sleep in there? Can you not do that? I mean, you're
Well,
not.
you can do that. You're not altering the structure.
Okay, so it's, it says, it only addresses the fact of the location of the house. It doesn't say anything about if it was in the district, you couldn't alter the structure, it just sort of makes it.
So add something to clarify it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the question
I
is.
get it.
Yeah, okay, so that was that first one. Then what is a buffer, how does it differ from a setback? Talking about common usage language, and I just think to say a buffer is an area of upland habitat adjacent to a wetland is too highfalutin. I mean, just when people start saying upland habitat, people just go, oh, she's just a greenie, I don't know. So, I mean, couldn't we just say an area of land adjacent to a wetland? I mean, does it have to be that
That would
precise?
be very plain, and that says it.
I mean,
If it's land, it's not wetland.
that's all, I was just thinking, whenever I see upland habitat, to me, I think like, oh, here's my people talking, and I think some people go, oh, there's like not people talking. And then on that same one, the town's ordinance setback requirements, but this ordinance, wait a minute. The town's zoning ordinance has setback requirements, but this ordinance does not have setbacks in addition to the specified buffers. And to me, it harkened back to the days when we did have them, and it was so confusing, and we all know we had them at one point, and now we don't, so it makes sense to us that they're not there, but nobody else would even ever think that they should be, so the sentence just.
Well, maybe just put a period after.
After ordinance.
No.
The zoning
The
ordinance has setback
town's-
requirements, period.
But this ordinance does not.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have, to say that it doesn't have them in addition gets into that whole like
Yeah, I get
mind
it, I get
math
it.
stuff that,
Good point.
and I don't think anybody else will even think that it would. The next one was about, and maybe numbering them would be easier if people had a question, they could say number 7.
I agree.
I like
Um,
that.
The one that it says, at building a second floor, clearly no vertical expansion, that's clear. But then it says, if it's in the district, you would not be able to add a second floor, but then it says you would need to ask the zoning board for a variance, implying, so the first statement is sort of unequivocal, no, you cannot add a second floor, there's no vertical expansion. Then it sort of opens a window.
Equivocates, yeah.
It does, and I wasn't sure myself at the end of the day,
Well,
is that a
There's
condition of
nothing
use?
that is impossible in fact, because one can always ask the
That's
zoning
the
board for
ZBA, yeah.
variance.
So
That's why it's in there.
Oh, okay, so then that is so it is,
But I might change would to could. You could ask the zoning.
yeah, because it sounds like, no, you can't
Right.
do it. So, but it's true then, the ordinance does not allow for it,
Yeah?
but you might get relief from the ZBA.
Yeah?
Okay. And then,
So can you you know the wording to make that happen?
MJ's
I
gonna
can-
send me her notes.
yeah, I
Okay.
can hand you this, but I can write it too. It might be easier
Whatever is easiest for you.
if you can make
And
sense
yes,
of
I'm
this.
okay on the wording.
Okay. And how will an ordinance affect my farm, which is within the district? And it just seemed like, would the whole farm have to be in the district? Like, how likely is that? Because, I mean, the district is just the wetland, you can't build, the farm's not in the pond, and it can't all be in the,
It includes the buffer, MJ.
right, but the whole farm can't be, so it might,
It
just.
might affect part of the farm, not
Right,
the whole farm.
so how does this ordinance affect my farm, which is within the district? So it just seemed to me like the whole farm couldn't be within the district. That would be unlikely, wouldn't it?
I
Right.
don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, but okay, but so what, what's
So
the
it
point?
just should be like, how does this ordinance affect the part of my farm or the area of my farm that's within the district or something? I don't know why that just seemed
Maybe the
weird to me.
question should be, how would the ordinance restrict any farming activities?
How about, how will this ordinance affect those parts of my farm which
Yeah.
are within the
Yes.
district?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
It just, my first thought was like, the whole farm's in the district? That, I can't picture it. And then it said, any changes you wish to make in your farm after the ordinance is enacted may be allowed, may be allowed with a conditional, I think that's redundant right there.
No, it's not.
Wait, let me reread it. I didn't strike me as that before. Any changes you wish to make in your farm after the ordinance is enacted may be allowed with a conditional use permit or may be prohibited. And it just seemed like it wasn't answering, it wasn't really answering the question. It was still a little vague. So the part of the farm that's in the district, after, the changes might be allowed or might not be allowed. So they may be allowed, they might be allowed with a conditional use permit, and they might be prohibited. So maybe just a depending on the nature of the change, or I don't know, it just seems like I ask you a question, is this allowed or not? And you say it might be with a CUP, it might be prohibited, and it just seemed like it didn't answer the question. I don't know how to answer it, because
It's a
the
general,
right
it's a
answer.
general question.
I mean,
because
it's
they
the right
haven't-
answer, but can we make it sound like a not such a vague?
Something like depending on the
Depend-
changes. you
yeah,
might make.
depending
Okay,
on
Well,
I'll tinker with
the-
The
that.
scope of
the-
the change or something.
The other thing, though, is agriculture is usually has allowances that nobody else has.
True.
So we need to check the law on that.
Yeah, I think we can, I don't think we need to for the purpose of this, Chris. I mean, in the ordinance, it's very specific about in accordance with blah, 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 that has to do with agriculture and farming.
Okay,
So it's very, very precise in the
Okay.
ordinance.
So maybe for the people who are just reading this and who are concerned with it, say, instead of getting into so much detail about the different ways it could possibly be allowed or not, say that, that it's gonna be grandfathered, but changes you wish to make after will depend on the type of change. But keep in mind that most agricultural, something are permitted, most agricultural uses are permitted. I just worry about, the strongest opposition we've seen has been from agriculture, right?
and timber.
forestry.
I'll tinker with the wording. I get your point.
And then the last one just confused me, which was that it says, will I be able to build a new house in the district? And it says you can't have a new septic system, but can the house be built in the district? So it almost sounds like the house could be built, but the septic system couldn't be.
No.
This ordinance does not allow construction of new septic systems, but this question is, I want to build a new house with a new septic system, and the answer was just, it doesn't allow for the septic system.
Well, if the septic system is not within the district, but the house is,
The house would not be allowed.
the house
septic
wouldn't be
system would
allowed,
No.
yeah. You can't
Neither would be
build-
allowed. I mean, the answer would really
Yes.
be neither would be allowed
Yes.
if they're all in the district, but
That is
I
correct.
still can't picture a house being built.
But you,
Well,
in a dis-
build it some kind,
if you have a footprint of a foundation, you could build a new house on that footprint like they did over on
Mm.
Cross Lane.
Yeah.
Right,
So the
And
septic
then
might
but they
be
wouldn't.
a whole separate issue.
okay, so this is more complicated than And I thought, so, yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, it just, I just got thinking like, but could they build a house? And what if they had adjacent land? Could they put the septic on that?
Well, Lake Road, they have the septic across the street because the old house is right on the edge of the water.
Well,
So I'm
and
sorry, Isabel, to get those to you so late.
No, that's fine.
the,
So are you gonna, excuse me, Chris, are you gonna email that to me?
What would you
or
rather, do you want to just take this?
Whatever's easiest for you.
I mean, just taking this
Okay.
right this way would be the easiest thing, but if it doesn't make sense to you, just ping me.
I will, thanks.
Yeah.
God almighty. Are those, oh, they're leggings. I thought they were tattoos.
No, God.
Oh my God.
Not me.
What have you done, MJ?
I'm nodding.
The, you know, there's
Cold,
a,
though.
there's a permit that was issued by DES to Aaron Turcott on Frost Lane, at the very back part of Frost Lane, to impact 11,459 square feet of protected shoreland. That's DES allowing an impact like that.
Wow.
But what's the actual impact? Like, are they?
Constructing a primary structure with a walkway, garage, parking area, install well and septic system
Where?
And where is this?
at the end of Frost Lane. I've never been able to find the property.
Where's Frost Lane?
Right,
It's right
right next to
on the back
Clothespin
of the river.
Bridge.
Is that
Oh.
little private road?
Do you know
Oh,
where
yeah,
Jack
yeah.
Schwaziak lives and?
Yeah.
It's a private road, but you can drive down it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've never been able to find this property. It's a teeny tiny lot, but, you
How
know,
much frontage? Like, how much water frontage?
I don't know how much water frontage,
Oh,
but the
oh.
wetland,
Oh, got it.
11,500 square feet of wetland in order to put in a primary structure. So if DES is allowing that on a river,
Yeah.
you know, it really makes me wonder about what that will mean in terms of enforcement on our ordinance. So I think that's a question for, first of all, for NHACC. What's her name? At NHACC.
Barbara Richter.
Barbara Richter, yeah.
Who does enforce our ordinance? The town enforcement
The
officer
code
or
enforcement
the-
officer
Yeah. So we don't
enforces
need
it.
DES to enforce it.
We don't
right?
what?
Need DES to enforce it.
Well, if there's DES, well, this is another thing. I mean, there was a lot of wetland violation done on the lot on Deer Meadow Road where the solar array is going to be put up on the, you know, up and back by Dan White's land. I don't know if you know where it is. Right, when you're coming from Concord down Deer Meadow, as soon as you get on Deer Meadow, like the moment you get on Deer Meadow,
Is that the town line?
the town line,
Right.
on the right-hand side, there's a driveway, and there's also a trailway that Betsy Janeway used to take. It used to be a little dirt road, and now it's a dirt road that is
Huge.
wide enough to accommodate great big trucks. And,
Who does it connect up to? It's on the right, so it heads back towards Concord?
It's
no,
towards the
it
power
heads
line.
back, it heads north.
Oh.
To a 74-acre lot that was completely harvested with no permitting.
This is up by, the company that used to drag the cars around?
Horizon. It's Horizon Holdings that did this.
No, but who, is it near the Copart?
Yeah, across the
No.
street.
On the other side.
Oh, it's on the other side from Copart?
Yeah, you're coming from Concord
Yeah, you said
to
it's
Deer
on the
Meadow
right,
on
but
the
I can't
right-hand
picture.
side.
It's right where the street sign is. It says Webster.
I don't ever go that way, but.
Yeah. They built
So-
this. I asked Therese when they started, and she said they had a permit.
Well, DES says that they've never received a permit.
Oh, okay.
I've never found a permit that Trace
Okay.
said we had. So they cleared, absolutely cleared 74 acres, and they put in all these unpermitted culverts to drain the wetlands.
So
That one wetland that you love so much is half of its size now.
this is to put in the solar panel?
No,
Their
Oh.
substation.
all of
Nope.
all of this was done prior to the solar array being, in anybody's mind. It was done in 2019, and a butter reported them. So now they are under orders from DES to submit a bunch of information, and I guess I have to try to contact DES to find out where that's at. But they also buried all the stumps.
Oh, so this is one of my concerns, but I'm
What are we talking
conflating the whole
about?
issue, yeah.
We're talking,
Let me just jump back to the committees on the education program,
Yeah,
because
good.
that's
Oh.
where I am in the minutes. And I just want to wrap it up for the minutes. So so we have Chris, Isabel, Sue Roman, and Sue Roth on the presentation to the public hearing. We have Sally, Isabel, and me on the brochure pamphlets, and I'll add FAQ to that. Although I think you've got that down. And then we have the presentation to the elementary school, and I think that's
Betsy and
going to be
Chris.
Betsy and Chris.
We don't have anybody for the education walks in town.
Right. Yeah.
right, we need somebody not to do the walks, but to coordinate the walks,
To organize them.
to organize it. You're a good
So we
organizer.
can do.
Yes and no.
We can use Nature Groupie for that.
Well, that's what I was thinking about, even asking them about the trails. To make maps that we can put in a folder, like they did in Concord,
Mm.
tells you where to park and what we're doing.
But who did the maps?
This one was the Conservation Commission. Yeah.
Betsy, can you hear anything here?
No, it seems to be fading out. Is it okay if I?
Yeah, you can go. You can go, yes, you can go. Thank you for being here.
Oh, I was glad to be here. I'm sorry we're having all these problems.
Well,
No, it's just too much fun for us.
yes, you're having too much fun, and we're just,
No, I'm saying, I'm just down in the field here, and, it's really remote. We're nowhere near mainland. We're way out in Penobscot Bay. And I think it's going to click out at any minute, so I wanted to say goodbye.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
trying to stay on, but it's kind of hard.
well,
Don't worry about it.
yeah,
We got
don't worry
this.
about anything, just have a great time. And I think I'm gonna go down to your porch tonight. It's
Oh,
a-
good. I hope
it's
the
a-
clouds.
Yeah,
Away.
me too. All right, thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay,
So educational walks in town, what were we thinking specific to the ordinance? Like what was the
just to
idea there?
get people excited about and knowledgeable about wildlife in wetlands.
What are wetlands? What do you see in wetlands? What might a buffer look like?
And we also have our videos that Dan made,
Mm.
but they're hard to access, I guess. I don't have.
Yeah,
to-
but this is specific to the education walks in
Right.
town.
So what you would do to coordinate this is find people who would be willing to lead folks on walks. Bob Quinn is an obvious one, and we would offer him remuneration.
Good.
Find out what he costs, and ask him actually what are his ideas for what he thinks should be included in walks. Maybe he would do 2 or 3 walks for us.
Yep. And he has offered to do that all along,
Yes,
but he's very busy, that's,
he has been very busy, but I guess he's not very busy.
No, he said he's been busy.
Yeah, stuff is picking up for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
yeah.
So-
Because he did that walk earlier, a couple of months ago, we went to a wetland and we met, MJ was there and Bob, and we met on Call Road.
Oh, yeah.
And
That
that
was
was
the
the
vernal
beginning of-
pool, looking at vernal
Yeah, I
pool.
went
Right.
on that one.
Yeah, you were there too.
Yeah. Bob had flip-flops,
It's your
I had
neighborhood.
boots. But can't we leverage some of the, like, I was just thinking, like, some of the covers people, like like they're wildlife biologists, like could we get any of them to come out
Well,
and do something like that?
Perhaps we could, I mean, and that's certainly an idea, so.
And we have
Organizer
Michelle.
person,
to pick her brain.
but there's merit to having a local person doing this.
I agree.
Right.
um,
I
because
agree,
it
and
helps sell it. And another thought I had, I wonder if Michelle Tremblay would be interested in talking about bugs in the wetlands.
I'm sure she would.
Because she
good at
does
that.
those wonderful bug nights. I hope she starts them up again
Yep.
next year. And maybe she'd be interested in doing something like that.
I don't know what the wonderful bug nights are.
At St.
Oh,
Paul's
you're-
School,
Right.
You'll
They
just
were
have to
awesome.
wait
What did she
until
do?
January. You go into St. Paul's School and they collect all these bugs. This is definitely off topic, but really quickly. She and Steve, her husband, collect, are part of the group that
Invertebrates.
collects, what?
invertebrates, they're
That's
called.
exactly
Yeah.
right, invertebrates or bugs. From the Merrimack River, I think primarily, though it may be other rivers, which they use to test for the health of the river. And they bring them in and get folks like me who know nothing about invertebrates to identify them with microscopes and stuff. It's really fun. So she knows a lot about that, about water quality, what inhabits the water, all that good stuff.
So ideally, we could get a couple of walks in the fall while wetlands are still wet. And if we could, if as coordinator of this, you could come up with a series of people or walks, or people and the walks that they would do. We could post them every single month in the Grapevine as a series
Yeah.
kind of thing, and advertise them that way. We could also advertise them in the town crier, in the Concord Monitor. All these other towns advertise stuff that's going on in their towns, and rarely do we come up with anything
Oh,
that's
you're
going
right.
on here.
And Nancy French writes a piece, and
Yes.
she has always said she'd be more than happy to help. My question on all this, especially knowing Riverdale, it is so overgrown with poison ivy and ticks and all that. You know, how do you welcome people? Let's go for a walk, and you can't even find the trail.
Well, if we knew somebody was going to do Riverdale,
Yeah. It's trying to find people to help us. I mean, in the past, we've done it physically, but you get to that point.
And that's, again, like, I you know, I'm, like, all these tools, like Nature Group, where you can post
Yeah.
it and say.
But they're posted so far out with things, I don't know.
The
You know, and most
thing
of the
with it
stuff
is,
is
it's
not
very
here.
specific. This is the time. It's not like vague, like, come help us. It's like, sign up here. This
Yeah.
is what we need. We
Right.
need these many people. This is the date. This is the time. That's what I liked about it. It really put,
Yeah, no, it's good.
It
you
is
know,
good.
and
So a format like Nature Groupie, that's an interesting idea for Webster.
Mm-hmm.
What is nature?
but Nature
Groupie?
Groupie is
It's
for,
through
It's
a nature
online?
extension.
Oh,
it is, but
It's
You
open
know.
to anybody. And I have shared a lot of their stuff on our Facebook page
I just saw
when they
something.
put things up.
I never look at Facebook.
I don't either.
Well, I'm only there because I am, but you
Yeah.
know, I could
I-
live without it too.
It's killing people.
Oh my God.
What's telling people we're off task again, though? What's telling people?
Facebook.
What?
Facebook.
Oh, Facebook.
Oh, you guys missed the. You're missing
Oh,
the
no,
boat.
no, no,
Oh,
no.
you're kidding.
I'm completely with you there. I know what you're
I
talking
don't have Facebook.
Hmm? Yeah,
I
you're
have
smart.
Facebook. Linda, if you wanted some help with bouncing ideas about stuff, I'd be happy to help.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you, I mean, same here. I mean, if you want to throw some
Yeah.
ideas out to, we can.
I mean,
talk
I
to
know
them.
like the Mach Forest, that's a piece of cake. You know, it's all laid out, it's not overgrown. The worst part is getting across the first brook and the easement, Phillips easement, because it's pretty,
And probably now it's probably full of water.
oh, I bet it is.
I have one suggestion for you. Don't get hung up on deciding on the place
Okay.
until you talk with Bob and
Oh,
talk
yeah.
with Michelle and
Yeah.
see what they
Well,
say.
even Ox Pond, that's tough, but
forget
Trumbull
that.
Pond. we
Trumbull
do
Pond is
Trumbull.
perfect.
Trumble's
place.
perfect,
Yeah.
yeah. Ox
Yeah.
Pond is awesome.
Oxpond,
I mean, that is like hardcore, you know, oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
but it would be difficult to get a group of people
Yeah.
to walk up
Oh,
there. We
no,
couldn't
I
even
don't mean
find it.
Ox Pond. I
Oh.
mean Mud Pond.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, that's bad too.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
When
Well,
you
Pond
get
is on
back
White
there,
Plains.
oh, it really
On
is.
White Plains?
What's that? Yes.
yes, near Trumbull.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
But
The
amazing.
Spinet farm.
There's actually
Down
a,
the street from you, we walked when they
Yep.
did the logging. What, does that have a name?
yeah, it's the Shea Reservation and the
Ah.
Little River easement, whatever they say. But there's not, there's,
The parking, that's the problem.
parking is, you can pull a bunch of cars right in there.
And many.
Not many, but, and then one or two on the road,
Yeah,
or they could
and
park at
that's
the top
the-
of the street and walk up.
Well,
It's
there were,
okay.
how many, there were 6 or 8 of us.
I
We
wasn't
did
there
that walk.
that day, but we hosted
Yeah.
a snowshoe thing. Who was
And we
at
came
that?
out
How
and
many?
did
There was a bunch of people.
That was fun,
Yeah,
yeah.
and
But, you know, it's winter and you're not supposed to park on the road, and Emmett was not happy. when
but
came
this
out.
we wouldn't necessarily do it in the river, and you can walk. They're not trails, but it's walkable up in there, and it abuts the wetland that's out behind Allison Darby's place on 127. Like so,
Yeah, well, even the
the-
floodplain.
the floodplain
You
Behind
can
the
meet
dam.
down at Cogswell
behind
Woods.
the dam, Cogswell
You
Woods.
can park lots of people down there, and you could bring your own lunch,
Yep.
and do a picnic and a hike.
Cogswell Woods.
Oh my
The
God,
dairy
that's my
farm down
favorite
the road
place.
from me, there's a little.
Oh, yeah,
Oh, that's not
Cogswell
even
Woods,
how,
right.
that's
right.
not even where I was thinking. I was thinking parking at the dam and walking in, because
Hmm.
there's a little Cogswell recreation area that's
Oh,
right on the
I
river.
haven't gone that way.
Oh my God, that's like my favorite place on the river.
Okay, that's a small lot too, though. I'm just trying to think, if
Yeah.
people show up, you can get maybe 4 or 5 cars, if
But
you're
at the
lucky.
dam you can
Well,
park.
there's the
park.
place where the old houses and the meeting house used to be.
Right,
That's on the other side of where I'm talking about,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, that's,
that's down by Mock's farm, not Mock's, but Drown's farm.
I don't know how to get in there from, do you
Super
go in
easy, go
being,
by the meeting house.
oh, so you do go in
It's on
that,
the right,
that
you go
north
down the
way.
hill, and the first pasture of the farm abuts
left.
that road.
oh, I'm,
Oh, so we used to
Cogswell
park
Road.
right across from Mock Forest and right at the edge of someone's yard and go in that way, and
Yeah.
it just feels so private now.
Yeah. Yeah,
you
you
have
can go
to
down
tell me.
Potash Road, depends if you're on horseback, that makes a difference. But the biggest place to go, and there's a huge field there, and a
Yeah.
picnic area, there's tables, if you go in by the Drowns farm. And then you've got the.
Oh, and there's beautiful trails off that trail.
Right.
Yes,
And you've
yeah,
got
yeah.
the
I've
floodplain
ridden my
right there.
bike up in there, but years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
But to get to the actual Old Town Main Street,
Yeah.
does it connect to that?
I don't know, I've not gone through it. When I've gone in, I've hung a right back towards.
Yes, it does.
It does.
Because on Old Home Day,
That's right.
that's where they take you in the wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
So that, the floodplain would be a good place.
Yeah.
So anyway, okay, so we've successfully
Ideas.
done this then. So,
Yeah. So I'm gonna just put Isabel and me in parentheses as,
And I'll reach out to Bob and see what he says. And I always think about the nature groupie, but I'm just not,
I don't know.
because they always seem to have such a big agenda going. And I was gonna ask them how we could map these trails.
See, I don't know that that's what they do. I mean,
No,
I think
but
nature group
clearing
is just a
would be
way of
wonderful.
organizing people to do
Yeah, to do
to
something.
do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to
can
send-
I just, for the
Yeah.
sake of brevity, can I suggest that you talk about it
Yeah,
when
yeah, yeah.
you're, when you're
Yeah.
in your subcommittees?
Okay,
Thank you. And thank everybody, thank you all for, putting your shoulder to this. It's gonna take an effort. So we have actually gotten through the main part of the agenda. The issues for subsequent meetings. I'm sorry, I did leap ahead to the DES violations Ray Solar project. So, I told you about that already. And
But
the,
can we just stay on that for 1 second? Because I don't think I fully understand it. So how does the solar project impacted by it? Like,
So because they buried all of the stumps,
right,
it makes the ground
dump.
a stump dump,
Dump.
yeah. And so, I mean, there are concerns. The solar people recognize that on that 74-acre lot, there's concerns for them now.
So the lot was there, somebody illegally clear
Cleared
cut
it.
it, illegally put culverts in and
To
impacted
make
some
the road,
wetlands.
it's a big road for logging trucks.
And now the company that's building the solar array bought that land?
No,
So who
no,
owns it?
they're gonna have a lease on that
Oh,
land.
it's gonna be a lease.
Horizon, I think, still owns it. They have they've leased
The
that
people who
land.
did all the damage
The people who did all the damage.
still own it, and they're
Still own
leasing
it.
it.
And the guy that did the damage lives in Pennacook. And so they have directed all of their things at Mr. Monroe, Eric Monroe. So I don't know what he's going to do, because he did everything without a permit, so he's gonna be fined. But whether they're gonna ask him to put all that stuff back is another thing. But ultimately, on that property, and you're right, the substation is right on the edge of
Because it's gonna
the,
attach to the power line there, yeah.
that's right.
Well, I was curious because someone I know took a drone picture of that being cleared.
Oh, I know that person.
Yes, you do. And, you know, maybe I can see if I can get a copy of that and I'll give it to you guys just to kind of see. I mean, we were shocked how big it was. So I went to Therese and she goes, oh no, they have a permit. Okay.
Nope.
So just to wrap it up, are they proceeding with this?
They are.
Solar panels?
They
with
are.
the land, even
They
though
are.
it's got questionable
They are gonna have to drill a lot of,
support things?
support, well things.
Oh.
You know, so to make sure that where they're gonna put the array, it's
Oh.
stable.
Just like a test thing?
Test, not pits, but,
Yeah. I get what you
drillings.
mean, yeah.
and the rest of the land, the bulk of the land, which is Corliss land and Johnny Little's land, is, Rick Vanderpool thought it was an ideal site for a solar array. The woods are very young, and it's flat there, and there's only one wetland crossing that is, you know, that the people need to do certain things, and Rick wrote all that out, what they need to do in order to protect the wetland.
So the solar array is going on that land, or they're gonna cross it to get to it?
No,
It's actually going on that land?
wetland.
The land that's had all this
No,
history?
so the land that's been cleared is separate from the little land. Little land is on the side of Copart,
Okay.
okay?
And where's the
that's,
solar array going?
and the solar array is going on the
So
little
why,
land.
so who cares about the stump dump?
And the solar array is also going on the
Oh.
stump dump.
So there's two both sides of the street. there's
Exactly.
solar array, okay.
Okay. I drove around Pillsbury Lake, not around the whole lake, but to certain residences,
Yeah.
just to see what's going on, and nothing's going on. There's been, as far as I can tell, on the one property that we're concerned with, behind the recreation field, there's been no filling that has occurred in that.
Well, that one person whose name began with a B,
Yes.
she sold and has moved. All that, she's gone.
You're kidding. Are they not in town anymore?
I don't think so.
Oh, so there's a commissioner post open at Pillsbury Lake?
Last I heard,
That's a
they
different
have
thing,
all
but-
resigned.
What?
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, this
So
is being,
for the minutes,
Yeah.
for the DES violations of the solar project, what do you want the minutes to reflect?
so, the,
Discussion?
God, I'm just blown away by that. The concern that the WCC has for a property abutting the recreation, what do you call that field, that recreation field?
No,
They call the ball field,
Ball field over at Pillsbury Lake.
it's basketball and
No.
baseball.
No filling has taken place in that wetland as of 7/21/2021. In terms of the intents to cut, I think it would be wonderful if you would call Barbara Richter when you're feeling better.
Are you talking to me?
I am.
Call her, why?
Call her Barbara. I mean, call Barbara Richter at NHACC and tell her that, you know, we have concerns about wetlands that may be disturbed by timber harvesting, and that we are aware that this is happening. What is the role that we can play vis-a-vis an intent to cut? And I don't believe that we have a role. I believe that the select board is the one that signs off on the intents to cut. And we are currently getting intents to cut because the WCC requested Russ to include us
We used
in,
to get them.
and
But why do we get them?
Informational.
There's nothing we can do about it.
Well, I
I-
think we could comment, and if we, I mean, we could reach out to somebody if we had grave concerns, I think.
so.
But oftentimes you get them,
So
After
the
the
way
fact.
yes, so the way that the intents to cut are, the way that the application is put out there, it's tax map, lot number, and so as soon as an intent to cut comes in, we would need to find out immediately and get street addresses so that we can Google Earth it, or so that we can use whatever knowledge we can get about that property.
Unfortunately, if it's just land, there is no street number. You have to have a driveway to have a street number.
Right,
So sometimes it's confusing where they are.
okay, but normally there's something there that we could follow up with. I would just wonder what Barbara would say, because I'm sure we're not the first Conservation Commission to have concerns over that. And with regard to recruitment, you and I had a conversation about, wouldn't it be lovely if we could have more support
Have
for
more alternates, have more people here.
more people? I would love to have a couple of men on the Conservation Commission.
Yes.
I would love
I'd
that.
settle for one.
You know,
Right,
one would
but
be
we've had
good.
them, but they've all left.
Are we taking that personally?
I don't know.
You know, there are so many conservation commissions out there that are all male, and it's I don't know, kind of a source of pride to me that we're all female. I mean,
tonight is, maybe is it tonight, the first all-female broadcasting of a Major League Baseball.
Can't
Yes.
hear you.
Yes.
The first major league ball game that's a full female crew, everyone on the network.
all the networks.
This
on the
doesn't
network.
have anything to do with conservation.
It does not. She said, it's a source of pride that we're an all-woman team, and it made me think
I
of
get
it.
it.
So,
Most of us drive Subarus.
I think that it would be so helpful if we could get members from the logging community to help us out with trail maintenance. That would be such a gift to us. And it would be lovely to work with the logging community on something that they're really good at and that we really need help with. You know, this is just dawning on me. So I wonder if Addie Mock I wonder if he would consider working with us. He's on the planning board now, and he's a very nice person. And
I wonder if Marla might have some ideas for other people.
Do you know
I
Marlo?
do.
Well, perhaps you could ask her.
Who is she?
She's the
Marla Parrott,
person that
she's
took
the-
my place.
She's a select person.
Oh, right.
They have the Hopkinton logging.
I remember that. What?
Is it Hopkinton logging?
Yeah, I mean, look at
Forestry.
I mean,
Into
look at
forestry.
Hopkinton with Ron. Was what's his name? Was Ron?
Marzick?
What is it? Yeah,
Marzick?
Klamarzik. Yes, thank
But
you.
he's in Hopkinton.
And he's on the. I know he's on the conservation commission, and he's a forester, and he's mapped out all their trails, and
Oh, cool.
so their trails are so beautiful.
Cool.
But when you said recruitment, I immediately was thinking younger.
Yeah,
Oh.
younger would be good.
Yeah.
We can't be ageist, though.
No, we can't, but I
We
mean,
can't.
it's good in any way you look at it to get youth involved in
Sure.
conservation.
So,
It can't be sexist either.
No.
right. So,
How about Craig Warnier?
He's a forester.
He's a forester, and,
He's on the planning board, he's the chair now.
right, so he may not want to step into another one.
No.
But we don't need to have them on the committee, like,
Right.
what's George's friend, Tom
On Frost Lane. Brad,
Bradley?
it's
Yeah,
not
and,
Tom.
Bob.
Bob.
Bob Bradley, that's, how can I forget? And he's helped us many times. He's said, whenever you have trail clearing, call me. And
what, is he a forester?
no, he's just a person who's out in the woods a lot, and
Great.
but he's a man. He's a strong man who can wield a
Well,
chainsaw.
do you know him?
He's a friend
Brad
of George's.
Yes, I know him.
Would you ask him if he would be the first among a support crew that we are, Isabel?
He's always said he would.
I have a technical question. How many members of the Conservation Commission?
7.
We cannot have more than that.
No,
Is there any way we can have more than that?
no.
Because it's a state law?
Yeah, RSA,
Okay.
But
How
we can
many
have
alternates can we have?
as many as we want.
Okay, so we could have as many alternates as we want, from which we could then draw new members when some of us die off.
Of course, of course. And so, you know, if this is a person that has already offered to help us,
He's
then,
helped us. He's
and helped us, then, you know, if you could contact him and say, we are assembling a crew of people that will help us with trail maintenance. Maybe he knows 2 or 3 people that would be happy to help us ladies.
That would be nice. And we need
Tee-hee.
to reblaze the Riverdale one, because a lot of that's missing.
And you know, I mean, the Riverdale was done by, you know, not a forester, but a Eagle Scout as part of
That's
this
right, way
project.
back.
So, do we still have scouts?
I was just gonna ask, are there scouts?
I don't know.
I don't think there are
The
any
Girl Scouts
scouts
used to do
in
the street cleanup.
And I'm worried on that last trail in the mock forest when you come down behind the school and the river, it's pretty darn narrow for a footpath.
along the river. Oh, it's
Awful.
terrifying.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It
And
is.
go in the winter with 2 dogs. I was almost having a heart attack.
Well,
Yeah.
Isabel and I walked it, and it was a little icy.
We walked it for the canoe races because we always go on that
Oh,
side
sure.
to watch them, and it was.
I think
If
that
you
we should
can.
consider maybe moving the trail in about 20 feet.
Same thing with Riverdale. We tried, and it was wet there, and it didn't really take.
Yeah, I know, and people weren't using it anyhow.
Great.
But that also was what area we moved it to.
That's what I mean. We moved it to
There was no place to go.
There was no place to go. Yeah, it's hard.
Okay, so is there any further business?
So I do have business about what am I saying about the solar project for the minutes? Did we get notified of violations?
Yes,
Okay, I'll just say
We did.
discussed correspondence from GES.
that's right. On April 13th and again on July 14th.
April 13th.
And July 14th. So we
Two
were
different
copied.
violations.
We were copied on letters that went to Mr. Monroe, M-U-N-R-O, of Bosquen.
And he's the guy not related to this Monroe, Eric, right?
Right.
different Monroe.
Who else is Monroe?
Monroe Herrick. Is that what you just said?
Marlowe.
Oh, Marlowe.
Marlowe.
Sorry.
M-A-R-L-O.
I'm sorry. I'm getting delirious.
The other business that we have, and this is something we absolutely have to do, is have a work session and go through and sort through all the stuff that's outside our filing cabinet in the conference room. And
They've done that.
Mhm.
That's what we whittled it down to last time we did this.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
thought we did that.
it's a pile of stuff.
We did, but I think after that, Betsy might have brought the stuff she had for years.
There's tons of maps and all sorts of stuff and
The
we-
last time we did it, we bought that file cabinet and we organized a work day and we went through it all and we organized the files and we kept the stuff and we got rid of a ton of stuff.
And then Betsy brought all of her stuff.
And I think that's probably a bunch of stuff.
so
Is there any way we could put some of that in the library? I mean, if it's really old stuff and we're not referring to it, wouldn't that be an archive?
well, we could put it in the
Great idea.
thing down in the basement of town hall rather than in the library. The library has no room
Right.
for anything. But what is that?
The
The
grade?
vault.
The vault.
Yes.
Exactly.
Is it in this building?
It's,
Yeah.
it's downstairs.
I don't know. if
Yeah.
the vault-
It's right over there.
Is it
It's-
really a vault?
It's a
Storage area.
it's a storage area they call the vault.
The
Okay.
bomb shelter.
Not even.
So
But how much room does that have?
Chris, I'm fading.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
you are.
I am
It's
too.
late.
It's quite.
It's late.
I am too.
So if there's no other business, everybody has their committee, so I'm gonna leave it to the committees to carry on with your work. MJ, this came from you.
For the conservation commission.
And I will adjourn this meeting at 8:45. I need a second.
I'll second that.
Second that.
Does anyone have?
Wait a minute, all in favor?
I
Aye. What's that?
I think I already have a copy of this, but.